Pulls fine.
That was good, I didn't have my.
Good evening and welcome to the Monday, May 2nd, 2016 special school committee meeting. Call the meeting to order at 6:45 p.m. First on the agenda is public comment. Anybody wish to make public comment? Hearing and seeing none. Mr. Carpenter.
So what we have on the reports and discussion are three things that are all intertwined. We have a restructuring that we're doing of our instructional technology leadership and structure for the district. We had previously a director of technology who was Deb Morgan, and Deb is retiring. And in many school districts where you have had a director of technology for a number of years, they have almost become people with two very different jobs. There's the director of technology, things that they do that helps keep our internet and our computers and everything used by the students, teachers, and administrators in business office. But over the past decade, there has been an ever-increasing need for the director of technology to be involved with state reporting. And this is everything from reporting student grades back to the state to teacher performance. So what we have proposed with Deb Morgan's retirement is actually to take that position and divide that position into two separate people. So what we have is a job description for a director of instructional technology that would be the person that would oversee our network, our computers, basically any way people in our district interact with computers and the network. They would be responsible for oversight of our technicians. We have 4 technicians that work on the network and debug issues with computers. But we would also be creating a second position that is referred to as the Assessment and Compliance Administrative Assistant. Currently, we have a 0.5 administrative assistant supporting Deb Morgan. This would absorb that role and then take that portion of what Deb Morgan has been doing and just have somebody for this district who is really focused on the use of the Aspen database, which is our organizational database for the district, and how that data gets reported out to the state. They would go and support the use of that database with special educators and how it interacts with EastEd, or how it interacts with health office for the nurses, or how it interacts with NutriKids for our cafeteria services. So there'd be a lot of things that they're doing that would be with the Aspen database, but also with TeachPoint, which is what we use for our teacher evaluation. So it's really creating a database expert within the district at an administrative level. This does get complicated in that the next 2 items on the agenda deal with the Unit B contract and the Unit A contract. Unit B is the teaching assistants and the administrative assistants, our clerical staff within the district. To create these 2 new job descriptions on the Unit B side, we're absorbing that 0.5 clerical position that is in Unit B. It's getting absorbed into the administrative line. On the Unit A side of this, Jim Birchfield, who has functioned as our district's instructional technology specialist, which is a full-time role on the Unit A teacher's contract, gets absorbed into the administrative line. So basically, we're absorbing 1.5 staff members from the MREA, our union, are getting absorbed into the administrative line to create these positions in a cost-neutral fashion. What we also do on the Unit A side of this is we create 4 stipends to have teacher leaders that would do some of the tasks that Jim Birchfield currently does within each building to support teachers' use of technology in the classroom. So we would be offsetting some of the functions that Jim Birchfield's currently doing in his role as instructional technology specialist by stipending teacher leaders. Again, it's a cost-neutral proposal, but what it does is it really focuses the roles of each of these positions on what makes sense as we're moving forward and as this compliance and assessment and the reporting that has to happen isn't going away, rather than have somebody who has pretty much a schizophrenic type of job. One minute you're doing data, and the next minute you're focusing on the network. To have people that are really sort of network, computer, instructional technology specialists, and then somebody who's very much a data specialist. So that's the three things. As I said, they're all sort of wrapped together. Part of the discussion has been that if in doing this, we would also be ratifying the Unit B contract, which is the contract with the clerical staff and the teaching assistants. This would enable us to go and fulfill or to ratify that contract. So before you are sort of acceptance of the restructuring and then approval of a Unit B contract with our staff that we've spoken about before in executive session, and then approval of an MOA for Unit A, which in essence allows for the absorbing of the instructional technology specialist and creating of these teacher leadership stipends on the Unit A side.
Scott, you had, at our last meeting, provided us with written descriptions for the two new technology positions that you're referring to. Those are the ones that we would be voting to support tonight, right? Right. The ones which we've all received copies of at our last meeting. Okay. In light of that, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the technology positions as presented to the committee at our last meeting and as presented at this public meeting tonight. I would second.
Discussion.
A couple things. Let me just see if I've got this right, because we're so late last time, I didn't absorb this. So we're dividing the present job into two. And one will be doing more clerical work and one will be doing more of
Can you scroll this? Right, so the instructional technology job, I think, does what traditionally, if we look back at Deb Morgan's position, before all of this reporting that needed to happen to the state, that's what that job was. It was making sure that our network is supporting the users here, that the software, oversight of the computer budgets, what sort of technology needs to be purchased, the professional, oversight of professional development that needs to take place within the district with regard to technology, and then the supervision of the technicians that actually work on the computer issues in each building, and this role would also then work with building principals and Dr. Blanchard on professional development that would take place at the building level. So that's I think a lot of what a director of technology had been for school districts. And then over time, we have this assessment compliance roles that have come on, and it's growing quite rapidly to be, nearly 50% of that person's job has been this, to try to separate that out and focus it on, there's somebody who is the database expert for the district, and they would be supporting the work that the administrative assistants do in each one of the schools in terms of generating report cards and reporting back out to the state.
Okay, I think I have that. So So are we only approving this one, or are we approving this one and the other half of it?
This would be, I think Brian's motion is to, it's these two job descriptions, and then the third one down are the teacher leadership stipends. So this is instructional technology teacher leaders.
And the salary of one is 52 to 62, right?
Correct.
And
That's
other
the
one-
that's the administrative assistant.
Okay.
The
The other one's about 100,000.
right. That would be the director of instructional technology.
And this is coming from what Deb's salary is now and from the person that's doing the clerical now?
This would be what Deb's salary currently is, what the person that's doing the clerical, that's .5,
Yeah.
that .5 role, and the instructional technology specialist, which is a 1.0 full-time on the Unit A side.
Okay.
So it's basically taking 2.5 FTEs and creating 2.0 FTE plus 4 stipends.
Okay. So I understand that. The only comment I'd make is that on the one that's replacing Deb, it says on there that certificate preferred. I'm not concerned with what's going on now, but I realize that the person that is going to be taking on all this, or is taking on all this, won't be here forever. So can we make that a required for the next go-around, or should we make it required now?
Is this to have them certified or certifiable as an instructional technology leader?
To
Or
make them a
certification?
supervisor.
Or certification as a
Certification.
supervisor director?
Supervisor director. Because I think in this role generally, when you've got that many people working under you,
Well, here, it says in the job description that they need to be certified or certifiable as an instructional technology teacher. It asks for certification as a supervisor director.
right?
So,
Then
yeah,
it
so
says preferred or experience in leadership settings, so my concern isn't for this next few years. My concern is in the future that become, I hate to use the term certifiable in my field, but certified in that.
I think the challenge in narrowing it that much, on our applicant pool for this role, we might have had 10 or 12 people apply for it. I believe only 2 of them might have been sitting directors, so I think if you over qualify things, you might limit who's getting that role for the first time.
It might be, but I have certification as a supervisor. A lot of people have supervisor. So is that something we could change next go-round?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I want to know. Okay.
Any further discussion, any other questions? Hearing none, we have a motion on the table with a second to approve the technology positions as presented. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? So moved. I'm not sure we can vote on the next 2 items.
You can.
I have to abstain on both.
You have to abstain on both. I did the breakdown of the votes.
Brian has
For the
to abstain
unit-
on one.
For the Unit B, there are sufficient votes, 3.5, if they vote in the affirmative. For Unit A, because Sharon,
Brian and
and
I.
Brian, and you can't vote, then there are not enough.
So do I hear a motion to, on the MREA Unit B
Ratify the
contract?
Unit B contract.
Unit B contract.
Right.
I would move that we approve the ratification of the MREA Unit B contract as printed.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
4 in favor, 1 abstain.
I guess since we can't vote on A, we could entertain approving the trip to Spain, so the
Yeah.
two teachers, the two teachers that came and presented could embark on beginning to organize the trip for the student exchange.
Personally, I think more of us should be here, especially for something like this, but I will entertain a motion if somebody brings it forward.
I would move that we approve the trip to Spain as described in our last school committee meeting for April of 2017.
Second.
Any discussion?
What's our liability for this?
You know, it's a student exchange. You know, I think that you know they happen. You know, they happen everywhere, and you know to have. And I think it's a fabulous opportunity for students from another country to spend time here with host family, and for our students to go over abroad and spend time with reciprocal host families. You know, so it's I think just like when we talked about the trip to Cuba, I think anytime we send kids abroad, or for that matter, anytime we send them to Boston, there's some issues. I think we have to keep in mind that while one of our teachers won't be in every one of the homes, we do have a teacher that's coming over with our students, and they, when they travel here, they have teachers that will be coming here with them.
I think it's a wonderful program. If it was with AFS, I'd have no qualms because we've had decades and decades of experience with that. I just don't know this one, so I feel a little bit unsure about it.
All right. Well, I was just going to add that as an employer of the teachers, we're responsible for their acts of negligence, if there are any. Of course, there won't be. And as always, I'm confident there will be a significant number of releases signed by the parents of the students. So there's always going to be liability issues, but if there's liability on every field trip and every foreign, exchange. I mean, this isn't a new organization, and they have also had a long, the teachers and the students involved in this, the teachers in particular, if I understand correctly, have had a long involvement with the personnel that are in Spain. So I'm comfortable with it.
Just to follow up on that, I was impressed with the 7 or 8 schools that were already listed as being involved. I don't have the folder with me, but there was at least 7 schools in the Commonwealth that have been involved in this. And I recall last year, different outfit, but our upper class had the chance to go to China. And whether there were 5 or 6 or 7 students, and I think that went off with a home run. So, the opportunity and the reality is there, but I think it would be a great thing for whoever's able to go.
I would agree. I think it's a great opportunity for the kids, and I think that even though we're not familiar with the company, it is a company that has done this before, and other schools have been in this situation with this company, and that the school that they're doing the exchange with has done this before. So it's not a new situation. So I'm very comfortable with it as well.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about the kids coming here, really. I mean, although there could be concern about it, but I'm only concerned about our kids going there. With AFS, I'm not sure, because my daughter went there and lived far away at age 15. I couldn't even talk to her for the first week. The second week was very limited by my limited Spanish. So, but I don't know if we signed something. So it was my responsibility there's accepting that she was going to be living with the family or not. I would be interested if that's traditionally done to do that. I don't know if it is traditionally done or not with AFS. That's all.
Don't know.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
So move. That concludes our job.
The, how does our inability to approve the Unit A memorandum of understanding slow down the process of beginning the advertising for these positions?
I suspect that we can advertise for the position for the assessment and compliance administrative assistant as we have created the role. We have memorandums of agreement with the MREA with regard to the positions. We just, at some point, need to formally accept the memorandums of understanding.
So if we do it at our next meeting, it would not greatly hinder the
I
process?
think we can move forward with the posting. I think we would probably need to vote to ratify the agreements, or to accept the agreements before we could hire. But I think we can post and go through that process. One of the provisions in the agreement is that the postings for the new positions will be in accordance with the provisions of the contract. So they need to be posted for a while, and then there'll be an interviewing process. So I think we can follow along a reasonable timeline there.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
That being non-debatable, we are so adjourned.
We have an executive session or no?
With-
Executive session, no.
No.